Hello, hello. Okay, so today is May 4th and I just finished uploading my how I'm preparing for spring quarter video, and I was looking at my schedule as to like what video I wanted to do next, and I have a school check-in plus midterms, which is very timely because I have my first midterm tomorrow. Also, you've caught me in like a fancy dress because I have a number of weddings and events coming up this summer. And I was like, I really should probably look into like making sure I have stuff for these kind of things, and like not I'm like scrambling over the summer to be like finding an outfit. And so I'm also feeling a little unmotivated with work today, and I just finished eating my lunch, so I'm trying not to slip into a food coma. Thankfully, I just had a salad, but I'm just feeling a little bit unmotivated. And I was like, you know what? Sometimes makes me feel better is like throwing on an outfit and then keeping going, even in the comfort of my home. So I was like, well, let me try on this dress and make sure it like still fits and like meets all the things that I need for the stuff that I have coming up. So I'm in a fancier outfit right now, and you're showing a little shoulder. I wanted to do a little check-in about school and midterms because I just told you, midterms are tomorrow. And honestly, this quarter has been very chill. I think my pre-approved PTO on Fridays has been very helpful. I get a lot of homework done on Fridays, and I haven't had to do much homework on the weekend, if at all. And that has been doing wonders for my mental health. Plus, like the amazing weather that we're having here in Seattle right now has been very restorative. And yeah, it's just been very interesting because I'm taking a accounting analytics class, and that is not, I wasn't expecting it to be like super numbers heavy. I expected it to be kind of like more about how things are done rather than necessarily doing it. And that's been the case. I'm guessing the second half of the quarter we might actually be getting into like more actual like doing of the analytics. But right now it's just like learning about all the different moving pieces that go into accounting analytics. Um, so that's been chill. It's certainly not the most fun topic ever. It's not an elective I would have wanted to have taken had I had the option, but this was the only one that worked with my school schedule. And then the other class that I'm taking is audit, and I should have probably taken audit last year, but I couldn't get it to work in my schedule. So I'm taking it now, and audit has been very surprising for me because I was expecting to be, kind of like in the numbers. It's considered kind of a core course. And audit is so much more about just like theories and policies, I would say. And like, I have not been in any numbers really. The midterm's gonna be very like multiple choice, short answer style, but like, I'm not gonna be like solving things per se. And that's as far as I know because I am feeling, I guess a little side note is I'm feeling pretty good about my midterm. I've been doing a lot of review, and I'm trying to not like check out with the level of senioritis that I have. Um, but so I feel like I've been doing a good job, and a little part of me is like, I don't need to study tonight. I am doing fine. But in reality, this is like the time where I should like really lean in and honestly probably kind of like try to cram a little bit even more, just to feel really confident. And so I am like, ugh, the weather's so nice. I want to go outside after work and do things. And that I will. But I think I am going to try to give like a solid 2 hours later this evening. So maybe more like when it's dark out, maybe I won't start until like 8 or something. And really give it another go. I've been provided with like practice quizzes and a study guide, but all of this to say, it's just a little bit hard to feel like I'm going to know how this is all going to go, because I've never taken an exam with this instructor before. And the way that the homework and the like modules are set up in this asynchronous course is very direct, but it's also, I don't know, it's a little bit hard to tell what the test is going to look like. So my professor has like a prep quiz that you can take for each topic, as well as a assessment and then like practice CPA exam questions. and I just don't know which format she is going to use. If she's going to, because the prep quiz questions to me are worded much more friendly than the CPA exam questions, or maybe like another way of saying that is like the quiz questions to me are phrased in a way that is much more accessible, whereas the CPA practice exam questions are very confusing. You have to like really say it a couple times to understand what they're asking. So I don't know what that format is going to look like. But yeah, the quarter I think has been overall going well. I was expecting to be more stressed than I am, which is a little bit of like I don't know. But I said that about last quarter, I think, and that ended up not being the case. It really was just like a chill quarter. And at this point, I really think I'm just like so much better at managing my time and like making time for things that it doesn't feel as stressful. And I'm just not as used to it not feeling stressful. So yeah, I think I will probably provide some updates with you before and after my midterm. I figured this video will just kind of be like a snapshot into the time that is midterms for me, considering these are hopefully my last ones for a long, long time. But with that, I will talk to you later whenever I choose to check in. And unfortunately, I won't be wearing this fun dress anymore, but oh well. Okay, see you soon. All right, good morning. Today is May 5th, and apologies if I sound like I have a little bit of a frog in my throat. I like just got up. It's 7:30, and I'm gonna try to review for the next 45 minutes to an hour before I need to log on to work. Thankfully, as a part of my pre-approved PTO, I actually took a half day today to get ready and have more time to cram for my midterm. So I am only working till 12:30 today, which is really nice. And since last night, I've taken a bit of a pivot for how I'm going to be studying for the rest of the midterm. Oh, my necklace is hiding here. I'll take it out. So my teacher attached a study guide to her Canvas page along with a bunch of Kahoot quizzes. Kahoot is like a in-person, usually like learning check quiz situation, but she attached a bunch of them as a means for review. And so I've been doing that, and it was my goal to get through each quiz like 5 times. These Kahoots just don't feel quite as comprehensive as the modules that I've had to complete for the homework. So each module has a prep quiz, a assessment, and then a little section of CPA questions as well as a case study. And so the assessment and the CPA questions, I believe, are closed. Actually, I know the assessment's closed, but are the CPA questions closed? Let me check. Okay, yeah, those are closed. But I asked her, I'm like, hey, can I use the prep quiz for reviewing for the midterm? Can you unlock them? And she did that. And so I'm able to access all of those prep quizzes. And so I was like, you know what? Let me run through those prep quizzes because they're a bit longer and they have like more detailed problems in them. And so I'm glad I did that. I went through all 8 topics that we have to cover, and it was a little sobering. I feel like there was some stuff on there that I was not as familiar with. Given, I just don't know. I'd have to look at the final summary again, or not the final, the midterm study guide again to see, because there might be stuff on these prep quizzes that isn't actually going to be tested on. But I don't know, it just feels more comprehensive and the questions feel like they're asked more in a way that I think the test is going to be. I think that's the problem, is I've just never taken a test with her, so I just don't know if the way the questions are phrased on the Kahoot are going to be more like what to expect, or, what's on the topic assessments or the prep quizzes are going to be more like the actual test itself. So yeah, I'm a little unsure. I feel pretty confident on the Kahoots, like I'm doing pretty well on them, so I think I don't need to do those anymore. I might choose to run through them later today one more time, I'm not sure. But my goal is I'm going to run through these prep quizzes for 8 topics 2 more times. So each topic I'm going to try to run through it twice, once this morning before I get on to work, and then once after work. And then I have a couple just like topics like the COSO framework I want to review. And maybe like watch some YouTube videos on it. And there's a couple of things around like GAS, GAAS standards, so GAS standards that I want to review. I feel like I'm getting certain like things that fall under like performance, if you know what I'm talking about, but like things that fall under performance and things that fall under responsibilities. And then I think it's things that fall under due care, but I'm getting them kind of intermixed. So I need to like take a moment to redefine those. But yeah, I'm going to do my studying for the morning, and then I will hopefully talk to you later this afternoon. Okay, bye. Alrighty, hello. It is May 5th still. It is now 3:17 p.m. and I've been off of work for a couple hours now, and I got through all of my quizzes that I wanted to get through, the prep quizzes this morning, and then I got through all of them again this afternoon, and I'm doing much better on those now, so I feel really good about the content that's being covered on those. I did want to review things like and I did review the COSO cube framework, the fraud triangle, the assertions, and what was the other thing? Oh, the audit risk formula, which is inherent times control times detection risk, and then the rate of material, or not rate, maybe risk of material misstatement. Reviewed that, and I'm feeling okay. There's a lot of multiple choice, but then about half the test is going to be short answer and or like matching problems. Those are making me a little worried because I just feel like it's a lot of material to remember at the end of the day. It's a lot easier to answer a question when you have the context kind of already in front of you, and like it's feeding you the answers and you just have to pick one. I'm just not as confident on the short answer. Like if I have to match stuff, I think I'll do all right on those. But yeah, some of the short answer feels a little bit harder. But I do think I want to get a move on. I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, I just don't really want to like sit around and wait anymore. I also just read a message that I knew the test was going to be open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. today, but it turns out the professor actually opened it on Sunday. So like 2 days ago, which had I known that, I might have tried to have strategized to do it earlier, but I did have the PTO for today, so I'm glad to be doing it now, and I hopefully should be done in time for when my boyfriend gets home, and he knows that I'm going to be potentially testing when he walks in the door, so I have the office door shut. And yeah, I kind of just need to like take a deep breath and do it. I am going to be using a lockdown browser, so I have to have my desk cleared, which I already do. But yeah, I'm a little bit congested. I can feel like there's a little pressure in my head, which isn't making me feel great. And the sun, it was supposed to be sunny by now, but it's still pretty gray. I'm debating opening the window just to get some fresh air in here while I'm studying. On the other hand, I don't accidentally want to get like really cold, so I might just crack it and go from there. So, okay. I think with that, I am going to do a little stretch here on the floor and kind of get my nerves calm down, and then I'm going to get started. All right, I will see you on the other side. Hello and good morning. Today is May 6th, and it is now the day after my midterm. I think my midterm went pretty well. I had 2 hours allocated for it, and it only took me an hour, like the professor said it would in the announcement. And let's see what else. I think I started it around 3:30. I was having some issues with the lockdown browser because my audio wasn't working, but then I got that squared away and was able to take it by 3:30 and be done with it before my boyfriend came home, so we were able to go out and have a nice dinner that evening. We got burritos for Cinco de Mayo. There's also just like a really good burrito place near us, and I'd been craving one. But the exam I think went well. I believe I got 100% on the multiple choice per the score that I got, because it automatically grades the multiple choice, and then the long answer has to be graded manually by the professor. I felt pretty good on a lot of the short answer. There was 2 questions that kind of got me. One was just like the definition of audit. And I think I know what the definition of audit is, but she wanted, or professor wanted like 4 out of 7 specific like characteristics of audit, and I was kind of like, ooh, I don't remember what those are off the top of my head, which I understand is like, you don't know what those are. And I think I do. So I just kind of like added a ton to my answer, and hopefully I hit 4 of the 7 things that she wanted in that answer. And then also the COSO cube, the COSO framework, I think got me. And that was kind of a big pointed question. And I think what I was supposed to do is I was supposed to like describe 4 of the 5 factors of the control environment. And I didn't describe that. I described it through like that front face of the COSO cube. So like monitoring, communication, control activities, when I think I was actually supposed to go into detail about the control environment itself. Like each one of those things has like a subset of characteristics. So I think I might have kind of fudged that question, but otherwise I feel really good. I feel like I passed, which is the most important thing. And, you know, it'll just be a matter of seeing like how far along I passed. Like, did I do really well and I'm certainly not going to have to worry about the final, or did I like, you know, just barely pass and like am going to need to kind of really lock in for the final to make sure I get a passing grade. But I think I did all right. But it's hard, you know, it's just I've never taken a test with this professor before, so it's hard to say. On the bright side, I will say the questions are phrased very generously. They are not meant to be confusing. It's not written like the way the CPA questions are written, where it's like, how do you not do this thing? And there's always like a double negative in there. She didn't have those, which was really nice. And yeah, so audit midterm done. I do have an accounting analytics midterm next week. That one should also be pretty chill. I'm not as worried about that one as I was this one. The topics tend to be a lot more, I don't know, at least to me, they are like a lot more intuitive. So I'm feeling pretty good. I will do some review for that. But, you know, I'm certainly not going to kill myself over trying to review super, super hard. And then, yeah, I feel like I just had this realization as I was finishing up the test. Actually, not while finishing up the test, but once I like got outside and was on a walk with my boyfriend in the evening, I was just thinking about like, you know, I don't think I have to be stressed about school going forward. You know, I have the planned PTO and my schedule is feeling pretty good. I don't think I need to ever feel like I am like rushing or catching up unless, you know, something major were to come up. I don't think school has to be like a stressful thing. I think I have a really solid plan for like the next 4-5-ish weeks and should be able to just kind of coast through as long as, you know, I'm like doing the work when I've signed myself up for it. But that's kind of a nice and huge realization. It's gonna hopefully make like the last month of school a very enjoyable one. I should be able to have lots of time with friends on the weekend as the weather is getting really nice here in the Seattle area, and like not be doing a bunch of homework on the weekend. So I'm very happy about that. I'm trying to think if I have any other school updates for you. That's kind of it. Like in terms of like hardcore academics, I've just been thinking a lot about kind of how different this graduation is feeling or going to feel compared to when I first graduated with my first degree. The world was in just like such a state of disarray in spring of 2020, and it was honestly kind of sad because I graduated and it was just like me and that was it. There was no celebration, and I know a lot of people who graduated in that time can resonate with that, and there just wasn't a lot of closure as well. Like that whole quarter was meant to be an opportunity to like say goodbye to people and stuff, and that just none of that happened. And so I hopefully there's going to be a much larger sense of closure in this chapter of life when I graduate this June. I'm hopefully going to be able to have a little party for myself, I think this Saturday after I graduate, with friends who have been around and supporting me through this time. And some of those friends are, you know, going to be moving away. Some of them are going to be sticking around. But lots of life changes happening for everybody, I think, this summer and beyond. So this will just be like a nice checkpoint to like celebrate with everybody and be like, wow, I did it. I'm done. And yeah, the senioritis is getting bad. I certainly don't want to be doing homework anymore. And especially as the weather is getting nicer, that's just the plight of being in a place where when the weather's nice, you feel like you can't do anything else. So I think that's all I have for you. Let me take a quick peek to see what my next video is. I think it's going to be a week in my life for during finals, which I'm also hesitant to do now because the level of like rigor I was experiencing when I was in the intermediate accounting series and how locked in I had to be during those finals weeks is seemingly going to be very different than what this and my last quarter was. So we will see if that's my last video. I'll probably do some sort of school check-in. And I take it back. I will probably, this is not going to be the last clip in this video. I think I'm going to have one more clip just kind of reflecting on the midterm. Maybe that'll be really short. Maybe that'll be right now. I passed. Today is May 13th and I found out I got a B on my midterm with a curve. So maybe got closer to a B minus or a C plus without the curve. But that's okay with me. We're just at that point in academia where I'm just excited to pass. So rock. And maybe you're just coming back from seeing my results of the midterm. But yeah, not 100% sure what my next video will be, but I do plan on having one posted in the start of June. Okay, with that, I'm going to let you go. Thanks for sticking with me. All right.